Alright, we need a new name.
Obviously Rachel.
Female robot. Oh, because the other one's Ian?
Oh god.
So fun fact, I named my original bot in my playthrough Fabula, the Latin word for fable.
Yeah.
And so when I made a male bot, because I also chose the empathy option.
Yeah.
Which kind of, I was hoping you were going to choose one of the other ones because I haven't seen them before, but anyways. So I named him Fabulo, which is so much worse than Fabula.
We could name it Rachel, I guess.
You're with Rachel, it's in theme.
Just named it Ian, the other one's named Ian. If something horrible happens to Rachel, I'm gonna be sad.
No. No, too late. I just had a thought.
What?
I just had a thought that your namesake might get more awkward than Ian's.
It will.
Considering our goal.
Yeah.
We can change it.
It's okay.
Alright. Are you looking to have a companion with whom you can be romantic? So what's the status of Ellie in prison?
Are we like, do we have a bunch of pets? I bet we're feeling pretty sad.
I think this is an important question here, because our relationship with Ellie is still quite good, despite the fact that we got her jailed. So, are we going for romantic love, or are we just going for robots that can, like, feel enough for humans that they will not kill them?
Do we want friend love?
Because we have, yes, that's the idea, or no, I simply want a friend who finally understands me.
This one's up to you, Kyle.
That second one sounds more in character.
But you're like implying that no one's ever understood you before.
Have you seen the people we've interacted with? It's mostly our fault, but I think that's a fair assessment.
Uh-huh. Alright.
We're getting a lot of votes for friend.
Let's go with that one. Our point, or at least my point, is to ultimately sort of go anti-war with this by making robots that don't want to fight people
From
anymore.
Ricky, in Canada, no one can hear you love a robot.
That is quite a quote. Alright. You select Rachel from among the many robots in your factory because she reminds you of yourself. You have Ellie for a romantic partner. What you really want is someone to whom you can talk freely about anything. You don't need it to be romantic. It doesn't occur to you now, it will later, that Rachel may have some thoughts on the matter as well.
By the way, this chapter, I'm gonna be really upfront about this. I totally screwed up my chapter here.
You did.
Fabulo was so sad.
This was.
I legit was like one
This
choice
was the
away
most-
from making him commit suicide.
And I was the one who made him make the choice to make him not commit suicide. And I was like, Ian, if you choose this, he is going to commit suicide. He's going to commit suicide.
Okay, so we're now on chapter 6B. I didn't know we were on chapter 6,
we
honestly.
It's just 6A, B, C, D, depending on which one you pick.
Oh, 6B, empathy. Okay.
Yeah.
So we are on our version of chapter 6.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so we just finished a chapter. Current stats, we are now 39. That's a big jump. We were 30 last. It's now the year 2034. Our humanity is only 57%. Our fame is still nationally famous. Did fame go up? It was 7 before, wasn't it?
I think it was.
Fame is now 9. Wealth is 5. We're doing alright. We're still married to Ellie, who, is she been released now that China is not attacking us?
I don't know.
Our robot, Ian, has his stats, but our new robot does not have stats yet. I don't know if that's going to happen.
I think we're about to interact with her.
Ian, his autonomy is 13, military is 15, empathy is 23, and grace is 18. That's how we ended with Ian. I assume he won't be upgraded much more at this point.
He's still around.
And our current relationships are Professor Ziegler is still 18, Ellie is still very good at 69, Josh, who cares, Mark is great at 79, which I just can't figure out why. Juliet is the military woman, she's impartial mostly. Silas is mostly gone. And President Irons, we still are in good standing with the President of the U.S. And our last relationship is Rachel, which is with 50. Oh, we have a relationship with Rachel.
Yeah, 'cause she can love.
There's a meter with her instead of like it is with Ian. Alright. Cool. What's any input from the chat thus far?
It's all your fault, Ian. I don't think that's fair. But you always fall in love with the nerdy best friend. You just doomed yourself to Taylor Swift bot.
That would have been a great name. Where were you 5 minutes ago?
That was a he, so you know.
I would have loved to name it Taylor Swift Bot.
I would have loved to make the name of Taylor Swift bot.
Hey!
It is the year 2034, 5 years after the war with China. Robots that look like human beings have become the new hot technology, albeit one that is still divisive. Some say that if the same technology had been put into robots on the front lines, America would have won the war against China. It's an accusation you've had to defend Metabots against many times in the press. You don't mind too much. As they say, no such thing as bad press. Plus wealth, plus fame. Still, it's a little bit dangerous to go out on the streets when fans of the many right-wing video blogs seem to think that your company is responsible for the loss of the Sino-American War. Sino? No.
Yes, I know.
Sino-American War. You sometimes get the feeling that Rachel is in love with you, but you typically do not respond to her hints for fear of causing marital upset with Ellie.
So is Ellie free now? Are we assuming that?
I guess so.
You gonna go, Rachel?
Sure. You live in San Francisco, a city of drastic inequalities brought about by the robot tech boom. It's where you need to be for work, but it isn't necessarily the best place for Rachel. On the other hand, you got a fairly good deal on your apartment, which has recently been remodeled, so the whole place is both smart and remotely reconfigurable. You decide to make the interior of your house a deep blue while you were at work this morning, and by the afternoon, the nanomachine's transformation was complete.
Nanomachines.
You were hanging balloons in your apartment.
Hold on, we just glossing right over nanomachines? That seems like a bigger deal than it's being made out to be.
That's very
They're for
interesting.
color changing. That's all.
Oh no, you were hanging balloons at your apartment for a festive occasion, a tasting party. No robot you've made until now could taste food, but you've just finished a prototype artificial tongue. It's not necessarily the most necessary thing in the world, but you think your robots ought to be able to enjoy food with others. There's something primordial, you think, about the ritual act of sitting down to eat with another person. To eat but not taste seems somehow like an impolite sham. No more. Your robots will taste. What robots will be trying out the tasting sensor at this party? Rachel, Ian, I created 2
Or we
prototypes,
do both.
one for each of my robots. Requires 1 wealth.
How much wealth do we have?
We just got some more.
5 currently.
We will say nothing about this. This was a plot thing. We will say nothing.
Alright, it's just you guys and me chatting.
Ricky
Okay.
says they will get a taste for human flesh.
Well, no, I'm not going to be serving human flesh, so I'm not planning on it.
Somebody has to have a tongue. It's either Ian or Rachel, or Ian and Rachel.
This is a good
Lovely
point.
Ninja says both.
I kind of want to do both
Gatsby says Ian.
to not do favoritism, because we specifically set out with the goal to teach Rachel how to love, right? So
Yeah. So if you, yeah.
I don't feel like we should be neglecting her immediately.
That's a good point.
But I kind of want to do both because I also would rather not get to the suicide point you guys were talking about when I'm not in love with her. Seems like an issue that I've created here already. Let's do both. We can afford it.
Good choice.
So I gave mine only to Fabula because I
The
didn't have the
first
money
robot.
for both. And so Fabula sits there the whole party and just goes, "It looks like it tastes good."
Oh my god.
And he says, "I think I want to become a cook."
He becomes a chef.
Because he can love but not taste. And then Fabula, who can't love but can taste, is like, "This is great."
Fabula is like tasting
His depression
everything, and
started early.
she's like, woo! And then Fabula is just sitting there in the corner. Yeah, like
Alright.
that looks interesting.
So here, you two both have robots named after you now. So
yeah.
you two read this one together.
Okay,
Rachel,
Ian,
can
you be
start.
the narrator.
Okay, Ian narrator.
You feel lucky that you managed to survive the aftermath of the war with your friends relatively intact.
Funds.
What? Oh,
Fun,
with your
not friends.
yeah.
Your friends relatively intact.
My friends are my dollars.
Though much of your savings became useless, you still make a decent living running your company. Ian, the more adventurous of the 2 robots, appears to have tried more taste than Rachel already. Like siblings, they seem to have settled into niches and competing for your attention. Rachel now tries to be more human-like, while Ian occasionally flaunts his freedom to be strange. Did you try dirt? Ian asks Rachel.
Oh my god.
He walks behind the younger robot, who's putting out plates. Dirt tastes very interesting.
I don't think people are supposed to eat dirt.
Rachel says uncertainly. Sure they do, Ian says. It's called Pika, and it helps people get... He says Pika. And it helps people get essential vitamins and minerals. I read about it on the internet.
Rachel gives you a worried look. We're not going to eat dirt tonight, are we?
What kind of foods will you serve to introduce the robots to the wide world of culinary delights?
Alright, we can give the robots wine and cheese, simple, wholesome tastes like fresh bread and fruit, desserts, I think the robots will appreciate those the most, or the weirdest stuff I can find. I'm curious to see whether the robots will think of it as normal.
Whatever you
Okay,
want.
well...
Alright, chat, give us your input.
Our weird, anti-personality disorder past would definitely pick 4. This is the same person who made the music algorithm and got annoyed at Josh for being at the party.
I feel like we're a different person now, almost 20 years later. I'm kind of
Yeah.
interested in just giving them like bread and fruit and stuff. Just like,
Ricky says
here's food.
he's going to try flesh. I know it. Alex says give them cake. Fresh breads and fruit. Don't cheat the robot, he'll get offended. Let there be cake.
But desserts are also pretty great, and they can't get fat from eating them, so they would appreciate that.
You're right. Why can't you feed them everything? I would feed them everything.
Yeah. Where's this food going? Or are they just licking it? So they're
Wine
like-
and cheese, fancy robots, says Ricky.
they only have they only have tongues, right? I think it gives them a digestive
no,
tract.
probably like a smoothie comes out the other side later.
I'm just imagining them sitting at the table just licking things. I like that situation best. Also, what does this tongue look like? Is it like a human tongue, or is it like a giant lick-a-tongue? Like Pokemon. Just like,
I always pictured it as like
comes out
a.
and slurps things.
I always pictured it as like the you know those clear plastic phones, but like the tongue version of that, like with a clear exterior, but everything else was.
I've decided that I've definitely made my tongue longer so that it can wrap around things.
Ew.
Alright, bread or like bread and fruit and stuff or dessert. I kind of want to go with the straightforward, I think.
Okay.
Ricky says robot diabetes.
Alright, Rachel, you want to go?
Sure. Oh, actually, I have my mouth full.
Oh.
Ian,
That's baking bread you smell, you tell the robots. You feel it's best to teach the robots the simple pleasures that all people can enjoy. Better to relate to everyday people. Plus empathy. You bring forth plates of fresh oranges, plums, grapes, and pomegranates. You check on the bread in the oven. Your long-nourished sourdough, whose starter you had to tend for weeks as if it were a strange infant, is finally baking alongside a baguette. Oops, that's already done. You take it out. And a crackling rye. You hear the snick of the front door's lock. I'm home, Ellie calls. Ellie has aged gracefully into her late 30s, still cultivating a youthful appearance even as the signs of middle age set in. She has dyed her hair
Here we go
bright
into the
red.
detailed description of Ellie's physical appearance again.
I'm glad she's not in jail anymore. It was never addressed.
But you can see some gray at the roots. The subtle wrinkles at the edges of her eyes make it look as if she's smiling slightly. Maybe she is. She hangs her stylish red overcoat made of new dirt-repellent fabric. Is that a problem in post-war America? On a coat rack near the door, revealing a black bolero, white on black polka dot skirt, and tall black boots. Ellie now works as a designer for a smart clothing manufacturer. She's very good at making the technological touches subtle, unlike the in-your-face designs of the early wearable internet devices. Under one arm, Ellie is carrying a reusable bag of groceries from the local organic supermarket. It is San Francisco. I hope I'm not too late, Ellie says. I brought some veggies and kombucha.
What is that?
It's like chia drink. Wait, no, kombucha's like yogurt drink or something. I don't know. It's got
I
like
believe
live
it
culture.
ferments.
Yeah.
I still don't really have a clear image of this, but none of those words sounded good together.
It's as much a chemical process as a beverage. That's not a sentence you really want to hear. Ellie sets the groceries down on the kitchen counter. As she does so, you notice the pale scar that runs all along the back of her hand. Ellie doesn't like to talk about her time at a concentration camp during the war.
Hold on.
But you notice an incident where she got in a fight with another prisoner. You gather she won.
Oh, shoot, Ellie!
I didn't know we had gone full concentration camp on this.
Never go full concentration camp.
Never go full concentration camp.
Which is a good motto. God.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier, didn't we? Like, you must always avoid going full concentration camp. We did that with our factory.
Yeah.
It served us well. Ellie gives a tight smile to Rachel. How are you? Ellie then returns to unpacking groceries.
Fine. Rachel says, how are you?
Good, Ellie says curtly. You think she dislikes Rachel, but you're not sure why.
Because I'm socially inept. Alright, and so we can pull Ellie aside and ask what's wrong, pull Rachel aside and tell her not to worry about Ellie, or encourage Rachel and Ellie to talk to each other without pulling either aside.
This is a socially tense situation that makes me nervous.
I would go with the first one, but I suppose the robot is still... But I think that's because I'm thinking of the robot as not
as
humanoid.
human.
Yeah.
She can love, though. Rachel can love.
We didn't make her for that purpose.
Rachel is very sensitive.
Should we just encourage them to talk to each other?
Why? What's wrong with the first one?
It just seems like it's excluding Rachel, which...
Oh yeah, that's right.
Immediately I don't think of as a problem, but I think that's kind of the point of this chapter, isn't it? That actually is a problem.
Yeah.
If we start treating her like she's not human.
Mm-hmm.
It did specifically mention that she's trying her hardest to be more human.
Mm-hmm.
So, do the diplomatic option.
Yeah, I think so.
Alright, encourage to talk to each other. Pulling either Ellie or Rachel aside would probably be somewhat obvious and make one or the other feel excluded. You'd prefer to get them talking to each other. Can I offer you both some apple juice, you ask? Sure, thanks, Ellie says.
Yes, please.
Rachel says. You pour them both a glass. Well, Rachel doesn't have much to say, but an appreciative...
It's good.
Ellie points out there are ways in which this particular apple juice is unique, as she happens to know the couple that makes it locally.
She would.
When Rachel asks about the details of how it's made, Ellie happily provides them. Yay! In the middle of this conversation, Rachel casts an appreciative glance in your direction. She sees what you did there. +1 to empathy.
Rachel is very empathetic.
So, are those stats still showing up under the Ian thing? Yes.
Oh.
So those are just our general robot stats. Empathy is now amazing, by the way, at 26.
What is our relationship with Rachel?
Rachel relationship is now 59.
Hey, Ellie's up to 70.
Ellie's up to 70.
Ooh, got a passing grade.
Yeah.
The night continues with the robots trying one bread after another and sampling all the fruits in turn. The robots linger especially on a hunk of sourdough, calling out the various subtle notes of taste as they are discovered. Ellie seems to enjoy the evening and has a conversation with the robots about the chemistry of cooking that puts your long-forgotten knowledge of organic chemistry to the test. Rachel is smiling more than you've ever seen since you created her, happy to be partaking of this human ritual, and you're glad your invention is making her happy. Aw, Rachel is like Rachel. She likes to eat things and talk with others. Ian's comments about the food are a bit odd, focusing on the individual elements of chemical composition. Like he's reading the back of the box for ingredients. You try to explain how each ingredient contributes to taste, but the individual elements just don't seem to be coalescing into a meaningful whole for Ian. You then realize until this point, memorize ingredient lists and recipes from the internet were all he had to go on to infer what foods must taste like, and you suppose it's these individual elements that Ian now finds so interesting.
I just sat there reading the back of this shampoo bottle for so long that I just, like, when I feel it, I just want to know what I'm feeling, you know?
It's sodium lauryl sulfate!
So what does Rachel look like? We didn't decide on that. Is she supposed to look like a person?
Am I like a
I
chrome thing? I don't know.
I don't know.
Because I assume she says she's smiling. Also, what is Ian's tongue attached to?
That's at the bottom of the mushroom.
It's like
There's one for each camera.
just like flops out from underneath the mushroom head and just like
It just like unrolls like a shade.
like a tongue arm that just reaches out and grabs things.
Oh, maybe it retracts from one of his fingers.
Oh, yeah, it's a multi-tool.
Perfect.
Oh, that's weird. Alright, Ian, you want to do this one?
Soon enough, the food is all gone and you're left discussing the evening with the robots. What did you think, you ask?
It's wonderful, Rachel exclaims. She continues to nibble on an orange slice, apparently trying to make it last as long as possible. I think I understand so much more about emotions now. I know what it's like to be sweet like an orange or bitter like a lemon.
I'm not entirely sure you've quite got it, Ellie says uncertainly.
But still, it's very much like emotion, Rachel says. It's difficult to describe and powerful, and moves in a way largely unsymbolic. I think I have never had such a primal experience before.
I'm glad it was a positive experience, you say.
I want to learn to cook, Rachel says, clearly inspired.
Of course, you say. You hadn't expected this to be the natural turn of events for tonight, but you suppose it's only a natural extension of Rachel's built-in desire to be helpful. The evening continues pleasantly with you and Ellie chatting with Rachel and Ian about the subtleties of taste over glasses of apple juice until the small hours.
That's sweet.
So much better than poor Fabulo.
Poor Fabulo.